Good morning. How you guys doing? I love it when I walk out here and I just see smiling, beautiful faces. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. And those at home, thank you for joining us as well. All right, say hi to DJ D. Hello.
Hi.
How are you, hon?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent, I'm good. You know, every single morning, what we endeavor to do on this show is to theme our guests, the topics. But today, I'm a little bit out of my depth because I feel like today's show will be a mishmash of very many things. Why? Because my two guests are two people who are not one single thing. They're not. They are multifaceted, they are multi-talented, they have many missions they want to achieve, and today we're all about celebrating just that. You can do a lot, you just don't have to do one thing. Purpose doesn't mean one thing, does it? No, I think it means many, many things, and that is exactly what Dr. David Wachira and Crystal Asige are about, and that's what today's show will be on. We want to talk about breaking religious stereotypes. We want to talk about giving back. We want to talk about really not taking things for what they are and just looking a little bit deeper into that. It's so, so important that we keep that kind of focus, especially moving into a new year. 2017 has just been one of those years, hasn't it? Yeah, but there's still been a lot that has been achieved by individuals who can say that they have really come a long way. And that is exactly who my guests will be. We'll be talking to them in just a second. Before we do that, I like to lift you guys up every single morning, encourage you wherever you are, that whatever you're going through, everything is going to work out and it will be okay. I always say that. If you have your breath flowing through you, God still has some purpose for you. So get lifted this morning. Watch. All right, I actually just have to say this. I can't ignore. My sister's actually in this audience. Yeah. She is. She came with friends today, and my next guest actually came with his whole family, which I just love so, so much. His name is Dr. David Wachira. He resides in Washington, D.C. He's an economist with the World Bank, but his heart is in many places, and especially where it's needed most. Everyone, please put your hands together for this great man. Hi, David. Hi, Dr. David Wachira. How are you? We hug around here.
Yes.
How you doing?
Doing well.
It's so good to meet you. Thanks for being here. Have a seat.
Thank you.
How is Washington, D.C.?
It's cold.
It is.
Yeah, it's quite cold.
I saw it's snowing right now.
Yeah. It was in the -6,
right.
-10, yeah.
So you must be so happy to be home.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We're blessed with a country of great weather.
I know, and thanks for coming with the whole fam.
Oh, yes.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Hi, sisters.
Everyone.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you. All right, so let's start from the very beginning. I think the first thing we need to know is, who is David? How would you best describe yourself?
Oh my gosh, that's a tough question.
It's a tall order, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tall order.
Yeah.
I think I would say first, I am a Christian, I am a son, I'm a brother, I'm a Kenyan, I'm Kikuyu, I'm a Corino. In that order, and no apologies.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. You are definitely one man who definitely does not apologize for anything in his life, but you do have also a very diverse background. Tell us a little bit of your childhood. You have an accent. Did you grow up in America?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I spent a good bit of my life in the United States, actually 20 years to be exact. My parents migrated to the U.S. in 1997. So I was 12. I had just finished 7th grade or standard 7 at Mission Primary School in Albergan. And then we moved to Austin, Texas in the summer of August 1998. It was quite a change. August 1997.
Right. How was that experience for you growing up as a Mocorino in a new place, in a new environment? How was it?
It was quite a culture shock. I mean, first it was in a different area. People spoke a different type of English. The school was different. The weather had hot, cold. There was that part wasn't pleasant. And then there was a culture shock. But I was very fortunate to be with my family and to be in a town that was very friendly, and we were able to acclimate quite quickly, actually because of God and also because of the direction of my parents. So I would say it was a fortunate experience, a difficult one, but one that we endured.
Absolutely. Yeah. Your heart has always been one to help others, to lend a hand where you can. Japan. You work currently at the World Bank, but there's other things that you do. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, certainly. My parents have always brought us to believe that whom much is given, much more is required, and the opportunities that we have been given in life are to be shared with society, and all we are stewards of the capabilities and what we have. And the world is the way it is, simply sometimes because people fail to remember that aspect of giving back.
Yeah.
So that is what enabled me to be where I am, and remembering those things and the opportunities that were given has given me a fortunate experience to want to give back. And I work in development professionally, and also that gave me a burden to want to help out the community a lot more, particularly starting here at home and getting that overflow elsewhere to other countries as well. So here we have opportunities that focus on education initiatives in Kenya through an organization called Inspire Spaces. In Texas, we work through an organization that my sister and I started called the Youth Engagement Society, where we focus on youth and being able to empower them more.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. When you started this out, everything starts out as an idea in our minds, and then we put it on paper, and then we go and see where the need is, where we want to help. What did you find when you were looking for where the need would be?
Yeah, well, I was very fortunate to be able to experience two different types of worlds. So I know what it is to go and fetch water in a river. I know what it is to go look for firewood. I also know what it is to stay at a 5-star hotel or have running water. So those two polar opposites of experience let me know that it was not necessarily by my own capability that got me there. It was the fact that I was very fortunate to either have stood on the shoulder of giants, like my parents, my church, my friends, but also the lottery of life, as I call it. I was fortunate to be born in that family. Yeah. There was nothing that I did to allow me to be born in that family. And there are other people in the same circumstance, with the same ability, the same intellect, the same empowerment, but just were not fortunate enough to be born in a family that I was born in. Right. And that puts them through a different path in life, and sometimes a very difficult path. And us who have been given more are entitled to want to give back, and that's our role.
I love that. I love that you keep going back to family and the foundation of who you are, David. And I'm happy that you came with your family today. They're all here. Everybody flew in to be here. Good morning.
Good morning.
I think the first person I should talk to is Dad, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Dad.
He's a tall, dark, handsome one over there.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, ma'am.
He keeps reverting back to you. Why was it important to you as the head of the household to have such a foundation for your children?
I have no idea. I think it's destiny is very interesting. We found ourselves in Austin, Texas. I had gone for graduate studies and then postgraduate studies. Found myself as a chair of a department in the university. And my children grew up there. But our emphasis has always been, we're influenced by, Platonic thinking.
Yeah.
Where you think in terms of flourishing, like those flowers behind you.
Yeah.
Each one of us must flourish. And you owe it to yourself and to God and to the church and all society to flourish. That's our Igbo word, by the way. That's our Wachira word. Flourish. We buy it from Aristotle and the classical philosophers. And we use the Bible very much in terms of charting our way towards success. Don't get a preacher to give to talk about.
Yeah, I know, right? But I really wanted to ask something, and maybe perhaps Mom can come in on this. Moving a whole family in the 90s to the U.S., being of the Akorino religion, and still having to really stay within that and keep that culture and keep that faith despite the religious stereotypes that are there. Talk to me a little bit about that, Mom.
Well, when we went there, it wasn't easy because we had to adjust ourselves and to teach our children how to get into the Word of God and to pray, because there is nothing we could do without our God, because we always put God first, and that's what we taught them when we got there. And we thank God because we have seen the fruits of our labors, and although it's not yet, the Lord is not yet through with us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. We'll talk to the sisters and the brother in just a second. But for you, David, and looking at growing up and looking at how far you've come, religious stereotypes are there. It's still a thing in 2017.
Yeah,
the world is grappling
unfortunately.
with. How have you managed to do it? You've traveled the world. You've sat in many important meetings. You've moderated many international platforms. Talk to me a little bit about how people approach you, especially with the turban.
Yeah, I think it's Maya Angelou who said differences, at least the ones we see in terms of appearance, often make us enemies of each other. And when we find out at the very bottom level, we are human, we all cry, we laugh, we think, we want to succeed in life. That's a common factor uniting all of humanity. And when we realize that, then we see that the miles will actually allow us to be friends. And what we thought was an enemy is really just a fellow human being. Yeah. And that was something that was emphasized for us. And so when I travel the world and I go to different places, different experiences, from Asia to Australia to South America to even the United States and Texas and some parts of the conservative South, you interact with many different types of people. Right. People who may accept you despite of the physical differences that they see, be it the turban or skin color. Okay. And at the same time, you may find people who do not accept you because of those differences. And unfortunately, the people who do not accept you do so out of ignorance. Right. It is their lack of understanding and their lack of interaction with other people. It's a more us versus them mentality. But when you get beyond that and realize that we're all the same, right? Then that opens the commonality of brotherhood, and it allows you to go farther as a society.
Okay, let me ask you something. Is it tougher internationally or tougher here at home?
Unfortunately, it's tougher here at home.
Shocking, that's why I thought so.
When I'm in Texas or when I'm in Washington, D.C., I'm just a random guy who happens to wear a turban. Yeah. Right? When I'm in Nairobi, I'm the Akorino, right?
I know,
I'm the guy walking along the street who is backward, uneducated, or whatever, put whatever stereotype it is.
And that's a crazy stereotype because it's not true at all.
No, it's not true at all, right?
Of all Akorinos, not just Dr. David Wachira.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting. There were a few articles that were published over the summer about me, and one of the things that they asked, why is this young man treading on Twitter or on Facebook, on social media? And then they said, it's because, he's doing the things that Akorino don't do. He goes, he practices medicine, or he actually partakes of medicine, or eats meat, whatever. And then I realized my sisters, both of them, and my mom are medical professionals, right? They don't just partake of medicine, they actually work in medicine. My younger sister Priscilla works in women's health and reproductive health. Elizabeth is in public health, and my mom is a trained nurse. So it's it's this stereotype that. But I think it comes from the fact that people just make judgments on what they don't know, and they choose not to go deeper and make their own conclusions outside of ignorance.
And it's always their loss, isn't it?
It's always their loss.
It's always their loss, absolutely. Give David a hand, everybody. Yes. All right, so right now we take a very quick break. When we come back, there's an amazing event happening right here in Kenya, not in Texas, all right? And David and his great team want you guys to participate because it's really an amazing project that will go a long way in helping those who need it. We'll be right back after this break. Don't go anywhere, everybody. Yay, I'm loving this morning. I'm joined by Dr. David Wachira, who is here to really talk to us a little bit about how we can all contribute in giving back regardless of where we are. The reason I love this show so much is you can watch us anywhere, even in Texas. We always stream live. www.ntv.co.ke/live is how you can take us with you. I bet you anything some of your friends in Texas are watching us right now.
Probably, yeah.
I hope so.
I'm sure.
I hope so.
I told them.
Great. One of the things I love is that regardless of how many years you spent away, you and your family always had a heart for the need here at home. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about safe spaces and particularly this December and what you're going to be up to.
Yes. So we have always had a willingness to want to come back and contribute to the development of society here in Kenya. We felt empowered to do that based on the the opportunities that we were given. And I think that's hopefully something that we can ignite in others as well, in terms of, always remembering like your home, right? The Swahili say "Mwacha mila ni mtumwa," so it's an important thing to remember. So in that regard, we work with the youth, and particularly focused on education initiatives. So I have my friend Fred, who's a guest member here.
He's here.
Yeah, he's here.
Hi, Fred.
I think he was unprepared.
How are you doing? Fred did not expect us to throw him in the deep end the way we're about to, but we're about to throw you in the deep end, Fred, okay? And your sister as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an amazing
That's
project.
how you get them. You get them to come, and then
it's television. Everybody's got to be here. Yeah.
And so, in 2013, Fred, who's a dear friend, we've known each other for the last 12 to 15 years, went to college and graduate school together, and spent a good number of years working in Texas together with the youth. So Fred started an organization called Inspire Spaces in 2013, and it's a locally led organization focused on educational initiatives, and we bring teams not only from abroad in the US, our colleagues, but also Kenyans of diaspora, right? And we link up with Kenyans here, and we put our efforts together to focus on youth, and particularly, as I mentioned, youth education, recognizing that there's a big need. We have about 75% of students who should be in primary school in school, and when it gets to high school, that number falls down to 45%. Right. So nearly 1 out of every 2 high school kids is not in high school right now, which is an endemic problem and creates a lot of societal problems down the road, be they unemployment, lack of skills, and that's a burden that society bears, particularly for a very young nation like Kenya, where 49% of the population is under the age of 18. So when you look at those numbers and look at what that does for our future earning potential as a country, but not only our future development, right? It's something that we need to work on. And so we bring that willingness and that desire to work on. And it's not something that we're doing ourselves alone. It's wanting to partner with other people, be they the community, the government, other NGOs doing that type of work.
Okay. So, very well done. All right. Fred and Dr. David Wachira put together a clip to just give you a visual sense of what is happening on the ground. The kids are smiling. They're happy. Take a look at this, everybody. Yes, indeed. So much to do, but it's so wonderful to see that there is so much help being given to those who especially need it. David, there are so many different organizations, different individuals across the country, across the continent who are doing something similar. Tell me a little bit about how this is different. What has been your approach and the learning curve?
So you're right. NGOs are a dime a dozen, but the need is also quite large, which could also explain why there are so many people doing this particular type of work. But what we want to do with Inspire Spaces is not only focus on those education initiatives on particular youth, but also find a way where we can work together collectively and harmonize the system a little bit better. So our end goal is improving education as a common good. And with that, we partner with other organizations to help endear that particular goal, be they government, be they other NGOs, be they individuals, be they private companies. And so that's part of what we do. The other thing is getting everyone on the table. We believe that once everybody shoulders and bears the burden, that's how we can develop. And importantly is getting the community involved. And that's an example of what we did this summer, was actually focus on some infrastructure projects where we actually got the community involved in the building. And it was great to see that. There was a Greek proverb that says society prospers when people plant trees whose shade they will not sit under. And it was in that particular event where you would see a mama ambayo and jenga a classroom for a student who is not her own, right? And you ask her, is your daughter or son here? And she says, oh no, it's long left, but this will be for another standard 5 kid. And that is powerful, because it shows that she is not only connected, but understands that the prosperity of society leads to her own prosperity.
That's amazing. Really great. You know what I love, especially when I go through your social media, is you really work well with your siblings, with your family. You take on friends and bring them onto this project. You inspired me as well to be inspired by this amazing project. Talk to me a little bit about your siblings before we meet them real quick.
Yes, so I'm very fortunate and blessed to have 2 sisters. Elizabeth, who is younger than me, but pretends to be much older. And then we have the baby, who is Priscilla.
Okay.
She's the youngest in the family, and very jocular and jovial. They're both doing great things. They both work in public health. They both graduated. I'm very proud of them. They graduated on the same day. Elizabeth with her PhD in public health, and Priscilla with her master's in counseling psychology.
That's amazing.
We were very happy that day.
Who's the gentleman at the end? I thought that was your brother.
That is actually Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Paul is
How you doing?
a brother to me.
Yes.
We call him, we have the same name.
Right.
He's my cousin,
Okay.
first cousin. My middle name is Waigwa, and he's also Waigwa. He's much taller. He's 6 foot 4 inches.
Wow.
And we call him in Kikuyu Waigwa Kanini, or the small Waigwa.
Yes.
And that made a lot of sense when we were growing up together, but now he towers over me, so, but we still use that.
It's important to have family around you and people who support your dream as well. Good morning, ladies and Paul. Good morning. How are you? Fantastic. You raise that microphone up there. Tell me a little bit about yourself and why this particular project that your brother is behind, and also the project that you're about. Tell me about that.
So my name is Elizabeth. I'm behind David's project, one, because he is my big brother, and I've always grown up shadowing him, but also because we share the same vision of wanting to make other young people empowered and inspired to live a life of success, no matter where they come from. And so Inspire Spaces does that. And then the Youth Engagement Society that we started also does that. And David mentioned the collaborative efforts. And so I'm a very big candidate of multidisciplinary efforts, because one person cannot come up with a solution. There's a huge rock to be dug down, and I have a hammer, you may have a chisel, somebody may have a bulldozer, and if I assume that I can tackle it myself, I'm doing an injustice to the people that will benefit.
It's true.
So if we create partnerships with, whether it's church organizations, NGOs, individuals, government, whoever they may be, whatever tool they bring to the table, it can be used to tackle the problem that we face, which is empowering our young people.
I love it. Dad, you must be so proud and mom of your wonderful children. They're so brilliant. Yeah?
It does not fall. It does not fall too far from the tree.
Wonderful, yes. Wakange wakijua. And if you don't know, now you know. Priscilla, tell me a little bit about yourself and why this means so much to you, darling.
Yes, thank you. My name is Priscilla. And David has always been the go-getter of the family and the vision starter of everything. And so just to see how much he has influenced me has also allowed me to go out and impact society where I live, also in Texas. And something that Dad has taught us since we were little is anyone's success is our honor. And so if we can tap into that success and help it and launch it, then we can not only better ourselves, but better society.
That's amazing. Give these guys a hand, y'all. Yes, indeed. And Paul, you must speak to us, dear cousin from the tall side of life. How are you? Why does this mean so much to you?
Fine. It means a lot to me because it shows that no matter where you come from, your dream's still valid.
Yeah.
And you must have a vision of which you need to achieve.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And you know what I know is that your vision also has to include, and you guys have rightfully said, giving back and paying it forward. And what you're doing is absolutely great. All right, everybody, we will be right back after this break to talk to you about how you can participate in this awesome project. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere. We're back, everybody, and today we're really all about helping wherever you can, however you can, using where you come from, where you've been, to just give back. On stage now, they didn't expect this at all, is Fred and Elizabeth. Thank you so much for agreeing to be up here, guys. And yeah, David, we have to throw them in there, right?
Under the bus.
Under the bus. Actually, no, we're just going to gently put the bus beside them. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
Excellent. Fred, talk to me a little bit about yourself. What do you do, Fred, and how did you get involved with this great family?
Well, David is a great friend of mine, and what a blessing to always have a good friend. No matter what you do in life, I think you need people that you're working with, people that believe in you, but also, they're willing to go into the depths with you. And, that's David. So I run Inspire Spaces. Okay. It's an organization, as David has shared, that, we focus on providing access to education for young people in Kenya. And this is my first year to go full-time. Yeah. I've been doing this, on the side for the last 4 years. And December last year, I made a decision to go full-time.
Wow.
So I was working for a private foundation in Dallas, Texas, and left my job, and just went full-time with this.
Took the risk.
Took the risk.
No regrets, right?
And took friends with me too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Has it been fulfilling for you?
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about from where you started and to where you are now, the milestone, the how far you've come when you look back. Talk to us about that, Fred.
I remember about 4 years ago when we were sitting to make a decision to, pick students for scholarships. And we didn't have the money, but I had this conviction that, we have to do something. I'd been to so many schools in Kenya, to so many schools in different countries around Africa. And one thing that I knew for sure that until we make an investment in bringing our kids into the education system, whether it's Kenya or other countries in Africa, we can't move forward.
We're failing them.
We're failing,
Yeah.
and it's an injustice. Yeah. And so, just having lived in a village, grown up in a village, and seeing a lot of my friends that we started school with and never had the opportunity to finish, just seeing what became of them, it would break my heart every time I knew there were so many more kids that would go through the same thing.
Yeah.
And so, we made a decision at the beginning, how do we, how many scholarships do we provide? How much do we have in the bank? What can we do? And, that was 10 scholarships, year one. And, this year we celebrate through the grace of God and so many friends that we are providing 110 scholarships.
Yeah.
And this is a jump from,
That's amazing.
57 scholarships this previous year.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's something to clap at, for sure, right? I think it's crucial that we make a very distinct difference, that Dr. David Wachira is behind two separate projects. And that's what actually is very clear, and that's why Elizabeth and Fred are sitting here, because they do kind of the same thing, but they're very different indeed. Talk to me a little bit about this project, Elizabeth.
So David and I, just last year, we were sitting and talking about some of the challenges facing our young people in the diaspora in Dallas. And we just all of a sudden started piggybacking some ideas. And I suggested we need to have an event where we just bring our young people together to not to preach to them, because I work as a youth pastor where I go to church in Dallas, and there's a disconnect from the pulpit to those sitting in the sanctuary, and our young people are getting lost in the between. And so rather than preaching at them, let's take that away, and still that is still the foundation of what we do, but let's bring them to a place where we connect them with God-centered, successful young people, professionals that are doing something, and their one attribute that they all say is, I am who I am because of God. And so collaborating with that, and then my assistants in the youth group, we founded the Youth Engagement Society, where the mission or the vision is to engage, to connect, to inspire, and to empower. And the belief that I have is that if we can engage our young people by connecting them with people that look like them, talk like them, think like them, and we can show them, hey, it does not matter who you are or where you're from or what your parents did or what they did not do, with certain qualities, or you're wanting to dream big, wanting to succeed in something, you can be able to do that. Absolutely. So we connect them with those professionals in a space where every person likes to party, everybody likes good music and good food and dressing up. And so that was the theme, was a youth gala where we dress to the nines, we look our best, reason to get new shoes, a new gown, and we just come and have a good time, but to show our young people also that you can have a good time without surrendering to alcohol, because that is what is killing our young people back in Texas, and unfortunately here, is through partying, they get exposed to alcohol and drugs, and it's killing them. We've had over 10 burials for youth under 21. Wow. And that's painful, right? To know that they did not get to reach their destiny because of this, and that's the devil just attacking us. So why not show them you can have a good time, you can succeed and go to school, you can look good, you can be classy, still be very much Kenyan, be very much whoever you are, be a Christian, and just be a normal human being.
Very well said. Very well said. Very well said. There are those who are watching us this morning who feel, Kobi, your guests, they live in America. They don't know the hard knock life right here. The guys don't even understand that being a Kenyan in the diaspora is really tough.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about demystifying this, David, and helping people who are watching understand that regardless of you being that far, that there is still a very deep connection to Kenya, to your homeland, to this country, and to those parents who have sent their children to university, who may be a little bit anxious about, are they succeeding? Are they depressed? Are they okay? Are they dealing in alcohol and drugs? What can you say to that demographic?
Yeah, I think to that it goes back to the proverb that I used earlier, Mwachamila ni mtumwa, and encapsulating that in your life and realizing, there are challenges. The diaspora, we face a lot of challenges. I can tell you about my family and the challenges that we faced. It's now that I'm old that I realize how close we came to being without food, or how hard my parents had to struggle to actually put food on the table, or to pay our school fees, or to pay our tuition. But they had a vision and they had a dream, and they were willing to put forth a lot of effort into it. And for that, I'm eternally grateful, Mom and Dad. Because of that, they propelled us much farther, and we are who we are because they took the charge. And because of that, it's why we also want to take the charge. And the struggles there are no different sometimes from the struggles here, right? We want to, there's the nature in us to succeed.
At 21, an 18 and 21-year-old drinking, experimenting in drugs in Texas and here, they're the same. They're the same, and the results are pretty much the same.
Precisely. I mean, my first introduction to drugs or alcohol or cigarettes was when I was 13, right, in high school, right? It was my best friends who I was hanging out with who said, try this. Try this, right? And getting over that, we all deal with peer pressure. The question becomes is, what do we want to do with that? And as a society, as people who have been through those struggles, it costs me nothing to turn around and say, hey, kijana, pitia hapa, right? Hapa nipo njia iko, right? Showing that, right? And letting them succeed. And that's what we want to do. And that's what we want to help these young people overcome that.
Fantastic. There is an amazing event as we conclude this awesome interview. There's an amazing event happening just around the corner. All right, who wants to take the lead on that one? It's the December 27th to the 30th?
Yes. Right.
Go ahead for it.
I'll do it.
You're sitting up here.
I'm here, thanks.
Okay.
So, we believe it's not enough to just give a scholarship. Just because you give money to somebody doesn't mean that they will succeed. And so we want to surround these young people that come from really broken families or just come from families that are underserved and, or lack resources. And part of surrounding them is mentoring them, is telling them what it means to have walked that path. A few years earlier, made mistakes, and they don't have to repeat them. And so what we do is bring a community of friends, both from the U.S., the diaspora community. We have quite a bunch of people coming.
They're here. Some Abanis are here.
They're coming.
Destroying Nairobi.
Wakwapa water.
Okay.
And but also our friends from Nairobi.
Okay.
And we come together, and with all these kids, 110 kids, we surround them, one with love, two with truth. And then we look back at things that have happened. And how can you deal with that? How can you walk out of those, difficult places in your life with people that are truly believe in you, that walk with you, that point you to the truth? And so that's what we're doing. It's called Inspire Spaces Leadership Camp. Starts on the 27th. That's when the leaders actually get in, and the students arrive in the morning on the, in Lukenya Retreat Center. And it's an amazing place. If you've never been, maybe it's a great reason for you to come.
It's gorgeous, Lukenya, and it's so peaceful, quiet, very nice, very, very conducive environment for that.
Absolutely.
What do you require from the general public who are watching right now? Everybody watches this show,
Yes.
Yeah, what do you need?
What we need, we do like to do a vetting process just because we don't want to have anyone just come up to the kids and share whatever they want to share.
Okay.
So if anyone is interested, I think we would say, get in touch through the show.
Yes.
Right?
We're going to do it. Yeah, you're literally about to take the words out of my mouth. We are going to connect you to this amazing troupe who are really doing a great thing and let you know about the details of that event. It's taking place from the 27th to the 30th in Lukenya. Log on to Better Living KE where you'll get information about that. Listen, David and Fred are such social media addicts. all right, you're going to find them sitting right there and you can get in touch with them right away. Actually, the whole family, right? Y'all are very avid social media users, right?
Yeah,
that's
very much
amazing. That's great. Give them a hand. David, you want to say something?
I'll say, of course, you asked a question, how can people get involved?
Yes.
And it's beyond just this retreat that we're having. Please, you can follow us on Facebook or on Instagram at Inspire Spaces. You can follow Fred or myself or Elizabeth, all of us, David Wachira, Friend Darby, Elizabeth Wachira, Priscilla Wachira.
Sitting right there on your screen.
Yeah.
It's sitting, your tags are sitting right there. Don't worry, we got you.
Precisely. And then the last thing I was going to say is, tying these two projects in, is that we tell people to dream, but the ability to dream is often restrained and incapacitated by the realities on the ground. And the realities on the ground is that it's hard for me to dream of becoming an engineer, for me to dream of becoming a doctor, for me to dream of becoming a public servant if I have never seen one. Right? And Inspire Spaces and the Youth Engagement Society brings these people to the youth. That way you can see this is what a pilot looks like. This is what being a pastor looks like. This is what being a TV show looks like. So TV host looks like. So we want to invite you not only on Inspire Spaces, but also to our event on March 24th in Dallas, Texas.
No way.
Yes.
Really?
So
Bring your gown.
Are you guys listening to this story?
Bring your gown.
Bring my gown all the way
your
to
shoes.
Texas?
Yes.
Tunaenda majuu watu wetu. That's a living. We are going to the diaspora. I'm not wrong, guy. All right, we're going to Texas. All right, thank you for that invite.
And let me thank my family for coming and my friend Baraka, who is also in the audience.
Hi, Baraka. Actually, I want to talk to them real quick because we're just about to wind up the show, and my sister is sitting right next to Baraka. I want a New Year's resolution. Okay, 2017 is coming to an end. My New Year's resolution is to give more of my time. I've been a bit selfish with my time this year for good reason.
March 24th.
Yeah, there you go. March 24th. I'm gonna give you my time, everybody, and also Fred. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come for your project.
Please do.
New Year's resolution. All right. Tell me, guys. Hi. How are ya?
Hello.
Hi, Rosa. That's my sis, y'all. Say hi to my sister. Hi. Hi, Rosa.
Hi.
Thanks for being here. What's your New Year's resolution, sis?
I must preach more. I must go back to my first love, which is full-time ministry. So just beyond being a development worker that I am, this past year, I've been using my Saturdays to actually literally street evangelize.
Okay.
Not with a microphone, but stopping people.
Yeah. Kingdom work.
Kingdom work.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, I have so much that God has taught me over the years, and it's time to actually just go back to my first love.
That's amazing. Yes, I knew that already, so, I knew. And I can't wait to see what you do with that, Rosa. And David's good friend, Baraka, how are you?
Very well.
Excellent. Are you have a good resolution for 2018?
Yet
are you ready for this new year?
Not yet, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, tell me.
I would say I really want to take one more step in my schooling, and that's basically getting to be behind the steps of my good dad here.
Okay, so you're getting into ministry too?
Yes.
That's amazing.
I'm already in ministry.
Okay.
I'm privileged to be sitting beside my boss here.
Yeah.
I work as a music director in Rema Gospel Church, at his church.
Yeah.
And happen to have the opportunity to be great friends of the White Ghost family.
Yeah.
And I get to work towards achieving my last degree.
That's amazing.
Terminal degree.
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, everybody, that's us done. Very poignant discussion indeed. It doesn't matter where you are. Do what you can with what you have. If there's a lesson to take from that, take that lesson. And if there's anything that I've learned today is we are all the same. We're all the same. And breaking that stereotype is so key. Yeah. So if you're a young person and you feel a little bit lost, if you feel like you don't really quite know how your 2018 is gonna go because you feel, you just don't belong, listen. These people are working tirelessly, day and night, flying into planes, countries, to make sure that you feel included and not left behind. So log on to social media platforms where we'll introduce you to Dr. David Wachira, Fred, and Elizabeth, and the great team, and to really include you in some of the work that they're doing. Thanks so much for being here this morning. Asante sana. Dr. Wachira, Asante.
Asante.
Thank you so much. All right, everybody, have a great morning, have a great day, and especially Happy New Year. Make the resolution now. Don't wait till 31st at midnight. midnight, right?
Yep.
Make it now.
Make
What
it
is
now.
yours, honey?
Mine is to be more intentional.
Oh, good. I like that. Fred?
I want to go to places where people would choose not to be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Fun to Calcutta. Yeah, that's a place maybe to go.
Yeah.
David?
I want to give back more.
That's great.
I'm ready to come home.
Really?
So-
We are open. We are here. We're open arms for you. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one. Bye. Have a good day.